Hey everyone, what is going on? And welcome back to another video. This is going to be a meta guide for the Halloween Cup. And I know it seems really strange. We have the Halloween Cup again. It's not October, but this is the Interlude season. So we're having a bunch of repeat cups. We had the Love Cup. We're having the Halloween Cup. So yeah, I mean, pretty interesting. But nonetheless, I do enjoy the Halloween Cup. So I personally don't mind it. I heard it's one of the more popular themed cups. Let me know if you agree or disagree with that. Also, let me know your team for the Halloween Cup. Do you have a team planned out? What did you have success with last time it was around? So for the Halloween Cup, I likely will be playing that the whole week. I mean, the Master League is going to be available as well. But I'm going to be playing the Halloween Cup. And yeah, I mean, a really cool cup. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. For the S tier, we do have Mandibuzz with... Mandibuzz is a great Pokemon. I mean, it's really bulky. It does really well against the ghost types that might be in this meta. It's just so tanky. It could take hits for days. It just does really well. Before we continue, huge shout out to PV Poke, by the way, as usual, for like all these references that I was able to gather all this information from his site and everything else. But either way, Mandibuzz is a great Pokemon, going to be on the top of the list. It's ranked #1 on pvpoke.com. Next up, we have Nidoqueen, or the Shadow version of Nidoqueen. I probably prefer the Shadow one, but does great. I mean, poison types are all over the place, right? It does well against the fairies like Alolan Ninetales and Azumel. I mean, the debuff with Poison Fang. Nidoqueen is one of my favorite Pokemon. Ever since it got the update to Poison Fang, it's just been one of my favorite Pokemon to use in the Great and Ultra League and in themed cups like the Halloween Cup. So you will see Nidoqueen a lot. Golbat is another poison type. It's another good one, really good one as well. It has Poison Fang too. You could go with a double poison team with like Nidoqueen or Golbat if you wanted to. I think I like Nidoqueen more, but Golbat is a great option. Next up, we have Azumel. Azumel is still really good. It's usually good in any league that it's allowed in. But there's a lot of poison types, so you have to watch out for that. But I remember seeing a lot of Azumel, even with the poison type meta we have going on for us. It's still a great Pokemon. You guys know that. Really, really powerful. The XL one, I would recommend. If you don't have an XL one, I probably wouldn't run Azumel. You definitely want that extra bulk to it. It really makes a difference. So moving on, the A tier, we have a Confusion user, Wormadam. So speaking of all those popular poison types like Nidoqueen and Golbat, Confusion going to be doing really well. I mean, this Pokemon basically has to watch out, of course, for fire because it is double weak to fire, but it also has to watch out for Pokemon like dark types like Mandibuzz that resist Confusion, or double resisted, I should say. But it's a great Pokemon. And one that you will most likely see. Probably as like a Pokemon kept in the back usually, I think, but it's a great Pokemon. And then Alolan Ninetales. You could run it with Charm. I think, because of all the poison types, I think the Powder Snow is going to be better. It's doing super effective damage to Nidoqueen and Golbat, crazy enough. Even though it's weak to poison types like Poison Jab and Poison Fang, it's still doing super effective damage with the Powder Snow and Weather Ball. So I probably would go with the Powder Snow version over Charm in this meta. Then we have Fortress. Now, Fortress is another great pick in my opinion for this meta. Of course, it resists a lot of Pokemon. It resists those poison attacks, right? It double resists them. So really good. It's a lot of, it's neutral to like the flying types. It's not weak to them because of the steel typing. It is double weak to fire, but it's a really good Pokemon, a pretty decent one in this meta. Crystal as a Smackdown user, going to be doing a lot of damage to the flying types like Mandibuzz, to the fire types. So really decent pick, and one that you will probably see this meta. Next up, we have Umbreon. So Umbreon, of course, usually always good whenever you see it. Super tanky. I think Mandibuzz is a little bit better, but in this meta, but Umbreon is definitely a solid pick. Then we have the B tier. If you happen to have an XL Alolan Grimer, there you go. Poison Jab, really powerful. Really strong. If you have the XLs for it. Maybe you do because we had a Spotlight Hour for Grimer, but pretty decent. Pretty good Pokemon for this meta. It's just, I just personally don't have an XL1 built. I don't have the XL candy for it, so I'm not going to be using this, but it's a pretty good one. Next up, we have Mawile with Fire Fang. So Shadow Mawile, I would say, is the way to go. Doing strong damage against the bug types like Beedrill, of course Frostlass, the ice Pokemon like Frostlass and Alolan Ninetales. It's just so powerful, and it can ramp up Fire Fang as well, right, with Power Up Punch. So really solid pick for the Halloween Cup. I personally use this Pokemon the last time the Halloween Cup was around. It's really powerful. Then we have, Frost is a really good one as well. Super fast, charges up to Shadow Ball fast, Avalanche even faster. If you go with Crunch instead of Shadow Ball, you could do that. Of course, Crunch has a chance to debuff, but it's not as powerful as Shadow Ball. But a great pick nonetheless. Then we have Drapion or Shadow Drapion. Really great save swap if you want to go ahead and use this as the back as a possible save swap option. It's only weak to ground. You know, it takes neutral to everything out. Well, not everything. I mean, it resists a lot of things, but it's only weak to ground. That's its only weakness, so really powerful. This or Skunk Tank as well, but Drapion is definitely better. With the Poison Sting, it charges up really fast. If you're going with the Shadow one, you probably want Aqua Tail and Crunch. But if you're going with the regular one, you could run Sludge Bomb. But really powerful. Aqua Tail, I think, is really good for like the Nidoqueen matchup. Of course, Nidoqueen has Earth Power, so you have to watch out for that. But yeah, it's a really good Pokemon, really spammy. You'll probably see this quite a bit as well. Then we have Qwilfish with Water Gun and Aqua Tail and Sludge Wave. It could have Ice Beam as well if you want to go that route, but it's really fast, really strong for this meta. I mean, well, I said Water Gun. I think the common moveset is Poison Sting, so really fast with Poison Sting. A little bit slower, a lot slower actually with Water Gun, but you probably want to go with the Poison Sting to get to the Aqua Tails and Sludge Wave. Super fast, so really spammy Pokemon. It is really frail, but it is really spammy. Next up, we have other options. For this meta, we have Beedrill, which is another Poison type, another good option. We have a Ghost type, Sableye, or Cofagrigus. Sableye probably a little bit better. Ghost types do have a lot of weaknesses in this. Not a lot of weaknesses, but I mean, like the dog types like Mandibuzz and Umbreon gonna pretty much wall like them. So. But I still think they're really good, especially Sableye. I mean, Sableye, of course, is a great safe swap. We've seen it flip matchups against, like, a Azumarill, so it's absolutely crazy. Sableye is going to be used for sure. Jellicent is yet another ghost type, so similar situation to the other two ghost types, but... so yeah, pretty solid. Then we have a Lowland Muk, which is another poison and dog type, so it is weak to only ground. So again, watching out for the earth power on Nidoqueen or even the Drill Run on Escavalier. But other than that, it's really powerful. You could go with Poison Jab or Snarl. There's a lot of other solid poison users like Nidoqueen that have the Poison Jab. So if you're running Muk, probably going with Snarl maybe, but it's still really good. Then we have another Ghost and Fire type. So of course this Pokemon doing well against the Pokemon that are double weak to Fire like Wormadam. So Wormadam has no play against this because it's going to be melted so fast by Lowland Muk. So pretty good Pokemon, but again, it suffers the same fate as Jellicent, as... Cofagrigus, even Sableye to an extent. It struggles against Mandibuzz and Umbreon, so dog types like those, and those are going to be really common, I think. Tyranitar is another SmackDown user. It's a good one. We see double SmackDown teams. We've seen it, I've seen it, so if you're running, that's probably the only place that Tyranitar really has play, is a double SmackDown team with Crustle and Tyranitar. If you're only running one SmackDown user, I think Crustle is the way to go, but if you're running two, obviously Crustle and Tyranitar. We mentioned Cofagrigus and Escavalier. Scizor is another decent pick. It is another Pokemon that is double weak to Fire, so Mawile having quite a bit of play with that Fire Fang in this meta. This is a Bug and Steel type, but it is pretty good if it has good matchups. It's pretty good. You could go with the Shadow version as well. Drifblim, yet another Ghost, suffers the same fate, of course, as Cofagrigus, and like a Lowland Muk, Jellicent, as we've mentioned. But it's still decent. I mean, Icy Wind does give it pretty good coverage, so you could use this one. Not too bad. Then we have Obstagoon, which is another pretty good Pokemon for this meta. Not too bad, not too bad. Really fast, of course, with Counter Night Slash, right? We know how fast it is. And then we have Sylveon as a Charm user. Again, I don't think Charm is the best in this meta. I don't think you'll really see like double Charm teams with the Alolan Ninetales and Sylveon. You could, but I don't think Charm is the best in this meta. So, yeah, probably not the best, but if you want to go with the Charm user, Sylveon, probably the way to go. Again, if you're running a Alolan Ninetales, Powder Snow, I personally like in this meta. But then for the solid team options, we have 6 teams for you. Again, huge shout out to pvpoke.com. The first team is going to be Nidoqueen, Azumarill, Sableye. So generally speaking, Sableye as a safe swap. It's usually a safe swap. And I think it's really good because, as I mentioned, I don't think Charm is going to be too common in this meta. I mean, I'm sure people will run it. I shouldn't say you're not going to see it. But I think Sableye definitely has a safe switching option in this meta. So yeah, so solid team, just all around really good team. Next up we have Mandibuzz with double poison, so Beedrill and Nidoqueen. Instead of Beedrill you can go with Golbat, but double poison jab uses with Mandibuzz. Again, both Pokemon in the back are weak to confusion, right? So you have Mandibuzz which double resists confusion. So that's generally how an ABB team works. If you lose the lead, or maybe if it's like a neutral lead, but it's not the greatest lead, you could switch out, safe swap into like Nidoqueen or Beedrill, whichever one. And then, you know, lure out the confusion user should they have it or any answer to poison types. And then, you'll do well with Mandibuzz later on. But of course, the double poison does well against Azumel should you see it. And again, I do think Azumel will probably be pretty common. I mean, it was last time. So a good Pokemon. Next up, we have another team, Qwilfish, double Smackdown users. I don't remember who created this team, but this team this team was really popular. And I know people hit Legend with this team or ranked 10 in the original Halloween Cup. And then I've also seen it a little bit last Halloween Cup. I don't think it's as common because if you lead Qwilfish and swap out into like Crustle or something, they're probably going to expect a double Smackdown user team. So it could be inconsistent, but I do think it's okay. And it's definitely a lot of fun to use as well. I mean, fast move, pressure, damage, right? I think on this team, I think trainers were running Water Gun on Qwilfish over Poison Sting. Just for the fast move damage. I could be wrong about that, but solid team nonetheless. There is like a helicopter flying above my house, so I don't know if you could hear that right now. But either way, we're going to go ahead and move on to another team. We have Azumel with double Bug Steel. So again, the back line, what is it weak to? Super weak to fire. It cannot take fire hits at all. And then Azumel, of course, does well against fire types, so it's going to do well against Mawile, which is not a fire type, but it has Fire Fang. And then a Alolan Mawile, so Azumel will do well against those, but the back line will not. You could lure it out, a possible fire type out with like Scizor, and then you'll have your other one. Unless if you're going up against a double fire team, which I don't anticipate. I think this is a pretty interesting team. Next up, we have Nidoqueen with Drapion as a safe swap and Frostless. So another pretty solid team. Drapion, again, being the safe swap. I think it's a great safe swap Pokemon, as I've mentioned already in this video. You guys know that. You could go with the Shadow one. Now, which moveset we run? It really depends. I do like Aqua Tail for like the Nidoqueen. But, I mean, you're taking resisted damage from the poison attacks, but Aqua Tail is just really good. If you're going with the Shadow one, I would go with Aqua Tail and Crunch. You could go with Sludge Bomb to have coverage against Azumel, because if you have Aqua Tail, you're not going to have any play against Azumel. However, if you're going with the regular Drapion, I would say probably Crunch and Sludge Bomb. Is it Sludge Bomb or Sludge Wave? It's Sludge Bomb, right? With Drapion, and then the Shadow one, probably Aqua Tail, Crunch. And then Frostless, of course, is a really good Pokemon, especially when shielded down. Frostless is amazing, right? So next up, we have Triple Poison. So a Triple Poison team, so cool. A Lowland Muk with Golbat and Nidoqueen. So again, Triple Poison. The backline is weak to confusion, but a Lowland Muk is not, because it is also a Dark type, so it's taking resisted damage. Only single resisted damage, but it is taking resisted damage. So again, really cool team. I think it could work really well. I mean, Poison going to be all over the place in this meta. And yeah, those are the teams, the solid team options. Again, let me know what team you plan on using for the Halloween Cup. I'm excited for this meta to come back, to be honest. I wasn't expecting it to come back until October, but here we go. It is coming back right now, and this is going to be a lot of fun, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day, guys. Bye.